He
Oh,
did just
speaking of
get
the
that
beacon
scan.
scan.
Yeah, everyone wants to start getting that scan going through. Knock locking in the lifeline. Here's the vantage that Sella wanted. Girl kind of gets that one going. Noob King electing for the path. I'm loving the Pathfinder picks here, especially on Olympus. I was talking earlier about Girl. Like,
Hmm.
she is so good on Pathfinder. So this leads right into her skill set.
Really comfort pick
Okay,
for a
I'm
lot of
shoot.
players. And you
Okay,
you
yeah.
can't
I'll give you
ever
more styles as soon as you
underestimate a
look good.
situation in a BR where you can be comfortable because most of the time you can. And then Nicewig adds these trios where you change your map every game. And then he also adds the fact that you can only pick certain legends. So finding some level of comfort in a tournament like this is actually a big deal as we can hear the fighting happening with Jen Burton and girls team as we take still a look over at all of the other teams going on. And we'll get to that action shortly. But as you can just look at this kill feed, Lulu takes down Emong as well as Doki Bird going down
Kill
to
him, nice.
Jen
Maybe trying to pull that
Burton
in,
here.
trying to get
So
a pull in.
dropped
Where?
as we switch
Nice.
over to where he's
Lost gonna
holding on
pull
the
one
high
too.
ground, probably involved
Lost like 22.
trying to poke away
He's
at
dead.
this damage, Tiff.
One more at
And
that
the
left diamond.
R301 securing them at least one kill.
Oh, they died, I think.
Another
Yeah, I
squad
think they're
falls
died.
out of the lobby. 17 remaining here, but being top of gardens is not necessarily a bad position. It once again gives you that high ground. It's incredibly
I'll
tough
get
to
it. Where is it at?
push into this POI specifically. But back to Knock, who's kind of just out in the open here. Grabs that gold back, which allow you to stack up
Mm,
3 shield bats, 2
deep
Phoenix
pockets.
kits, a knockdown gold. All right, look, they're frying on their loot right now.
Yeah, and you know that lifeline obviously is going to be upgraded to some gold loot, some guaranteed Evo caches, and the ability to be more consistent and more
If you like
relevant
that,
for
you
your
should just
team
keep
in
it.
that regard. On
That's
the
not bad.
side of offensive
something.
firepower, well,
Six
she's
section,
lost
maybe
out a
just
little bit. It was a meaningful
Right.
trade. It was a design decision, and we've yet to see how it'll play out in the high-level pro leagues of the ALGS with our land coming up in just about a month in Los Angeles at the Galen
You ever
Center.
play
But
Lifeline pack?
for now, we've still
Yeah, I
seen
just
that it
got it.
You
translates
need pocket
pretty
pack.
well to most
So you have, like,
all
different color
levels
area?
that you're playing
Yeah, it gives us
Apex
like
Legends.
cover on
And
the top.
right here, not the level 3 that you're going to see where that
And
is
then drop you
active,
at
but you'll see at
6'6".
least the care
Figure that
package get
out.
dropped.
Thank you.
And possibly, and most likely, what you're seeing is the new DOC change on the lifeline that everyone's grabbing, which means she can have her DOC healing drone up for 25 seconds, and the cooldown on it is 25 seconds too, Tiff. Means pretty much
Ooh.
infinite heals if you want.
I do like infinite heals, especially if I would be down in this lobby, because they're always putting pressure on you. Your map 2 winner, Mr. Team here, does get a nice crack, but is forced to go ahead and hit the shield bat. It's going to allow Girl and Jen Burton to push up, but Jen extends out just a little bit too far and pays for it.
Big deal. Big deal. Not an easy way to get him back. However, you have the lifeline who could slide over, but it's just a tough position. And Jin saying, go ahead. The other thing that you can play off of, it's not easy, but maybe some late game crafters that come in, getting those banners up with the support, it's still possible. And Jen knows maybe a mistake was made. Got a little overconfident. And Girl, rightly so, abandons Jin Burton and gets the mobile respawn beacon. That's what she was hoping for.
Okay, I'll take the med.
We have a crafter nearby, though, because that's the only thing. Yeah, we've got... Oh, is she going in for the save here?
No, she's got... Oh, that's
I think you
right.
Forgot
No
about it.
crafter.
I think
Yeah,
you
so she's
can
got to get it.
stay on that respawn.
I don't know. It's just a tough play, Tiff, because you don't want to sacrifice yourself here. She's going to get this off just barely. Really good awareness
Oh, they're looking
of
for
the
it.
medkit timing.
You have to go for Rift, probably. Rift.
Yeah, and the
That's
girl
right.
knows that team is just looking. So I think it'd be a little wiser to try to have enough medkits if you're going to do it this way. And if that is a crafter inside the zone, try to do it that way versus grabbing his banner.
The good thing about this is Girl has competed before, and she's so incredibly good. You hear that. She's like, I'm going to res you. Syringe immediately when you get up. That is the way to chain those heals together. Jen already made the call out, like, you need to pop into Rift and reposition yourself accordingly. But while that was all chaos, tuning in with Noko, we haven't seen too much of his team yet on this broadcast, playing alongside Ireek of Awesome and Lulu. And I know you were hyping up Reek of Awesome earlier today.
You guys, you've seen the mainstream, play Apex. You've seen the B stream with Nicewig. Have you seen the Z stream? Because that's what Ireek of Awesome has asked to be a part of. He wants to get involved in any way possible, and he's been such a fun, great member in the chat. But as he's done that, an accountant by trade has developed into a great content creator and streamer. And so make sure you check him out, Ireek of Awesome. Big shout out to homie there, and continuing to not only cast, have a good time, but also now compete with the likes of Lulu and Noko. Pretty exciting.
Yeah, got the Kraber Queen on your squad, but checking in for a little bit there with Timmy's squad. Picked up Ambush and Casey Dilla. Had 20th pick in the draft originally, but thanks to the snake draft, he able to get his third teammate locked in fairly quickly. Dropped. IGLing to perfection. Don't get sniped from the buildings to your right. Just pay attention here.
Somebody prove me wrong on this charge rifle, please. Hit one shot. Let me believe again.
I am not a believer anymore. Ever since the charge rifle got reworked, I have not touched it since.
And it's a gun that's probably going to get reworked again because the state of it is put it so far behind most of the other snipers that it's not going to be something consistently used. But again, it's also opened up things like Valkyrie, which wouldn't have been available in its post when its prior state. So we'll see. All things do come to an end, but there's new life with that rebirth. And a rebirth as well in terms of a few legends who will be dropping down from that drop ship is Dropped himself. Drops a shield battery. Looks to drop a few bodies behind that carton. But the Pathfinder will grapple up and just move away to safety. And they're just going to try to restabilize here with the DOC.
Nice shots.
I have a light mag on him.
Dancing behind the tree. Doesn't matter. You still throw enough damage down. The only thing I'm worried about here is this R301 just has a scope on it. Now, granted, I do not like when I have an R301 without a light mag because I feel like you just need more bullets to get a knock on an R301 as opposed to obviously like a Hemlock, a Nemesis. So having a light mag makes that a little more easy, but we do not have that ability here. Jumping on over. Deeds. Electing to throw down the Pathfinder, and Mung going for the lifeline. Lots to caustic still.
That's right. And this is the weapon that, to me, I had dreams about. I told you, if you were watching the stream earlier, Tiff, you might have been there. I just wish the wingman was back on the floor. It's not. But when you get it, you pick it up. I don't care if you think you don't know how to hit it. Once it hits, it is so good. And remember, you just get no movement speed penalty for aiming down sights, which is one of the easiest ways to be a sitting duck here when players can aim so well like this. Sweet.
Okay.
He is a headshot away with a body shot from dying with no flesh, as he has just let us know.
Just doesn't want Deeds to connect with the wingman. They're the team that's on the other side, so he's going to see what he can do here. Maybe we can pop this res and throw the Ash ult down and just kind of disengage the squad coming from the top line, aiming directly down at Deeds. This is going to be the reset that Sweet needed.
Wow, that was death. That tether that got multiple people. One of the changes for, obviously, this new Ash from Sweet impacted that team who was pressuring him and now allowed the team that was nearby to go ahead and find the kills, especially from above. What can Sweet do from here? This is a cheeky spot, and he's going to get so much damage. That should be, it could be a kill. Another tether as well. Multiple teammates or just a solo. Sweet's going to try to win this one. He jumps up, but he's going to go down. Will he stay alive? Again, an armor swap is available, but it's Baby Nikki who's going to have to save the day here yet again, and it's Imperial Hal, who she was fighting, and she's not going to get out of that one. So round 3 goes the way of Hal over Sweet.
The rivalry continues here at Twitch Rivals, and honestly, it was a tall order there for Nikki with a 1v2 situation. She did get a knock onto one, but Hal winning out the fight inevitably. You saw that Sweet was actually the kill leader, so I'm sure it's going to shake up the Elim board, but this opens the door for Hal to kind of start whittling away at the differential through that. But back on over to Noku, who we had witnessed here in the Grow Towers, getting into some early action trying to defend their tower.
Nice stuff, and just staying on height. They're going to have to rotate soon, though. But that's perfect res right there. And as the lifeline, I think there's where the DOC is going to be so valuable. He gets up with the knockdown shield, and so that means he's up and ready to go. It's not as exciting, but it is really, really good for sustain and then holding a strong position right there. Hal also takes down We the People, who's got 2 games of 0 kills and 0 points, but somehow find themselves in the top 7. That Ballistic doing work from Hal, but on the low ground of Grow Towers, it's Ambush, Casey Dilla, and it's Timmy, who also got 0 points last game, looking to make a big comeback with at least 5 kills and a top 6 so far.
Our favorite bronze to master streamer. Throwing down here, holding the low ground. They know they've got a squad just ahead of them, but into the final 6, not a lot of viable space to play. Of course, you're going to have some teams that are looking to play alongside the other side of the wall, and Timmy is chaining the nades together. They're all connecting, and the swing comes in. He grabs one, and he's not even necessarily getting punished for it. There we go, a massive squad wipe. We're gonna get
no.
the shield swap, but I was so nervous if he wasn't gonna be able to get back in. They're playing alongside the care package here from Lifeline, but just as they nade spammed, the punishment comes in.
That is insane. That is insane management of this fight here, because if he just straight up healed, he was going to die. No doubt about it. He had to do a little bit of damage. There was a little moment where Casey Dilla could throw the DOC for the healing, but he had to sneak out and risk it all, and that is the beauty of it. And they're building a wall here of
Hey, yo.
Lifeline care packages and mobile respawn beacons. That respawn beacon, though, actually has something to do, and Tiff, you mentioned it, it's the Kraber Queen on the other side.
And she already connects for one, cracks on the lifeline, but is forced to heal. And I'm curious, with 2 bullets in the chamber, how much pressure can we do with it? Off screen, Model More, Yanya, Eugene. This is where we were curious of what we were going to see. Throws the DOC to get Yanya back up on the flesh heals.
A lot of people opting for just the faster recovery. You can see the 50-second cooldown there. It's obviously going to help when you are in a stressful situation, but Noob King has a solo alive in the top 4. So we know we have Noko, Lulu, and Irek of Awesome,
Ooh.
and that's going to be a top 3. It could have just been 1. The Pathfinder gone down. It's going to be a top 2. And it's a chance for Noko, Lulu, and Reek to find a way here into their first place finish that they've so desperately needed to get back on the map and to push it. It could be one fight that determines it all. I think the Krabers out of juice, Tiff, but they're going to go for it.
All right, plenty of boxes to go ahead and swap on. And here's Noko, hit fire for the knock. And that's going to open up, turn the numbers in their advantage, but not when Model Morgue goes down. Come on, Yaya with the hip fire, grabs another. Eugene's so healthy here. But a moment of reprieve, we've got to get the shield bat off.
Jay trying to hold it down. Noko's done so well, so has Lulu and Reek, but they're going up against someone who basically could have won the entire ALGS finals in North America the other day, and Yanya proves to be just a little bit too much of a challenge as he takes the win here in game number 3.
That's our
That was
Presidente.
amazing. Oh my goodness. I love seeing people just absolutely drill others with the Hemlock. I am so bad with that gun, but that proved so much in their favor. And I'm so sad. I wanted Lulu to win, but you know, it's okay. Second place is pretty good too.
Yeah, it's pretty good compared to who's taking first place. And I think that's the way that Yanya felt when he lost the TSM in that final ring as well. And they took match point finals. And now someone else gets to lose to Yanya and go, well, it was Yanya.
Oh,
Yeah, okay, I
Yanya.
guess. Yeah, I suppose it's not like the worst thing to get taken out by Yanya. You see it and you're just like, all right, I understand.
All right. Yeah.
It's okay. What an incredible match. I'm so glad that we saw so much action right away on Olympus, and the fact that things got we went to Grow Towers. I'm just happy that the end game was on that, because it just gets so chaotic with the amount of open space we have.
Yeah, I can't wait to see more. And that was just so fun to see Ballistic as well. Shout out Ballistic mains out there. I am loving this format. It is so fun to see the variety of team compositions.
Yeah, it's really been so great. Thank you, Nicewig, for putting this together. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're returning back to World's Edge. Welcome back. We totally were not talking about little treats and coffee behind the scenes. You know, we're not.
No.
Listen, we're hungry for
Us.
action and for snacks. Okay, just saying.
Snacks are action in my house. That's action right there.
That's
Ooh.
true. So we do have the list of legends available for map number 4. So we're going to run through this. We've got for Skirmisher, Pathfinder, and Octane. For Recon, we have Seer and Bloodhound, Controller, Rampart, and Catalyst. And for support, Loba and Newcastle.
I'm theory crafting. I'm already
I
thinking
know.
about this. We saw so much Seer Cat earlier that I'd imagine that we're gonna see it just make a return here in World's Edge. Since there's no Caustic, you know, Caustic would be more viable on World's Edge, but I think the Cat Seer would be nice. But Rain Day, I'm curious, you think we're gonna see Pathfinder again or maybe more Loba?
No, I think we're gonna only go between Seer, Catalyst, Rampart, and Bloodhound. I would be surprised if you didn't see Seer, Bloodhound, and Catalyst being like the main choice. And I think a couple of teams you might see Nock bring out the Loba. They've liked to play that on XSET quite a bit. I think we'll see stuff like that, but most I think it's gonna be in the pocket here, especially for World's Edge.
Yeah, that's fair. I think I would be, if anyone picked support, it would definitely be Loba, just because we are going back to World's Edge. So we also have the vaults, and that's like
Yep.
the one thing that I could see them going for, but we'll have to see. So let's go ahead and take a look at the standings and see where everyone's at after game number 3. So this is for map 3 specifically, Team Yanya, of course, with 12 placement points and 9 eliminations, actually matching Team Noko for 9 elims. So, I mean, first and second place are not that far off in terms of points here, Tiff.
They're definitely not. And what's really interesting about this is we've had different winners every single time. So even though Sweet did win map number 4 with 24 points, it's like, where did they end up here? They've had 2 6-point games back to back as you get a look at the overall standings. And albeit Jen Burton putting up the biggest point of, or the biggest map point of the day thus far after 3, it's been pretty lackluster throughout the rest. So it's giving people some time to catch up.
Yeah, the wildly inconsistent numbers on each map so far is kind of wild, Rain Day.
Yeah, I mean, also, it's kind of like who picks the best trio of legends for the right map, because you're seeing this huge discrepancy in play. And then you feel comfortable and your team's right, and then you're able to pop off with the way we know. Yanya, though, going from 2 to 2 to 21 points in Olympus, that is the start. I guess that's the finish of our first round of this rotation that they needed. Now they're right back in it.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the points here, I think Sweet, ooh, you know what? Actually, I don't know. Sweet might be a little bit more consistent on this. We are going back to World's Edge, which if we're just looking at the numbers, it seems like he's extremely comfortable on World's Edge above all the other maps. To be fair, that is the map that most pros have a lot of their time and expertise on. So, Tiff, do you think we're going to see Sweet output massive numbers again?
He needs to if he wants to take that most eliminations, right? Because it's like currently separating between him and Jem Burton by 1. And this is kind of what I was talking about after the last game. Like, it could come down to 1 elimination where you're going to be like, all right, Nikki, stop shooting. I need to get the elimination. Just pause it real quick. But then in the thick of it, it's very hard to be able to focus on making sure that I'm the one that gets the elimination. Because at the end of the day, you still want the elim. You still want to go ahead and try to get the best position so you can get as many placement points, couple with those eliminations, and maybe run it back. Does Sweet win World's Edge again? I mean, yes, possibly.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. Now, match number 4 is ready, and we're going to see if someone else takes the win. Because like you said, everyone has been taking their sweet old time, you know, taking turns. And I don't know who's going to be in the hot seat this time.
Well, to me, you know, I love to see at least the seat that I'm in, because where I'm sitting, I could see Newcastle being picked up by Flats and Emong and Deeds running with Newcastle. This is going to be an exciting showcase of a legend that is really, really solid and just has had absolutely no love whatsoever in this latest meta in the last many months of Apex for whatever reason.
I'm trying to think back to where I've seen people like at one point in time, it was the Valk Watson Newcastle that was tried and true, the 100 Thieves team of history. But even the most latest rendition of someone trying to play Newcastle would have been Hackis trying to make it happen. And that was more on Stormpoint trying to play positions that you probably couldn't have played without him. I've seen him do it a little bit on World's Edge, but for Flats, Emong, and Deeds, this was not a composition that we were even talking about, right?
No, not at all. And it's one that, I don't know how prevalent it will be across today, but it's nice to be able to see it. And this is much more alongside what I would have expected. Rampart, Bloodhound, Seer, Catalyst with a flex of maybe a Loba in there. And Kylie Gabor doing the Loba thing. And absolutely, I love the eyeliner. I mean, and all of the outfit. It looks like this works with Loba. And maybe, I don't know if it's a main or not, but I would consider it.
I mean, they have their heirloom, so I'm just saying, I think it is, and they're just slaying it. I love this so much.
Yeah, absolute fire. Great colors as well, blue and yellow. Some of the themes for the channel too. Catching over to Natty, who in her first Twitch Rivals as well. Congratulations on the invite, and obviously very excited to do it as she spends a lot of her off-screen time from her stream with Gildersons, who's one of our top teams in North America Moist, and has transitioned away from NRG as that squad split up last season into the Australians, who have taken over quickly North America and will be representing in LA, but on the Rampart this time, Tiff. And, I think this is a character that is certainly we've seen a lot of in the past couple of months, whether it's just in casual play, but has snuck in here and there in pro play.
I think so. Like, we've seen our Rampart enjoyers, like tried and true, maybe one or two here and there, but you call it out right, especially in pubs, because of the breakout rewards challenges that we've been kind of getting. You have to play 6 different legends throughout the entire course of the season to unlock a skin, and Rampart was one of the most recent. So I was never really that well off into Rampart, but being forced to play her, I was like, wait a second, she's kind of good.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things that I often go to theoretically, that when you have the opportunity to play a character and you get eyes on a character, in a way, it changes the character's viewpoint for a lot of other people into saying, wow, this character actually has way more value. And until you do that, it's almost impossible to take a character like a Newcastle, that is not played for people to understand the value. But if everyone played Newcastle, you'd realize, man, it is hard to fight against this guy. And that's what I love about the system that they brought into Apex. Just a big shout out to them and Respawn, because it's actually giving us eyes on characters that maybe weren't the most played, but don't need buffs now to be played and be OP. It's actually just, hey, play the character and you get to see what naturally this character is actually still bringing.
I'm really curious to see what Jen's going to be able to do here. Let me just say, super sub there on to DZ, goes for the double craft. Someone decides to chow him, swings with the Spitty and picks up the squad elim. This is what you need to do if you want to get Dado and Clara back into the lobby. Now, the question is, where are we going to look to hit that res? You get scanned, and you see the scan come through, and the scan came from Harvester itself. Check on board. Hambino, Legendary Doll, and Tor. Look, Rain Day, Legendary Doll. I'm so happy to see her here. Runs all kinds of tournaments on their own. This is their first ever Twitch Rivals. Even Nicewig gave her a shout out.
Yeah. I think that's an impressive thing. When you run tournaments, what you're really doing is putting yourself second, and you're putting other people, their experience, their process before you. And I think it's kind of what Nicewig does in some ways, and kind of highlighting these other regions and doing these watch parties. And sure, there's things to gain from it, but it really is a selfless act at its heart. And so I love when people get showcased who showcase others. And it's a great thing to see Legendary Doll able to get a little kill here. And also the fact that this team is able to compete. Hopefully they can go far here as they're rocking the Pathfinder on Hambino.
That's a nice move, right? We start talking about her. We showcase the squad wipe. She picks up Jen, so Jen's not going to be able to get his team back in. Instead, they will fall. Some Bloodhound goes massive in the kill feed and eliminates yet again another squad. But for a rotation here, straight over towards Lava Siphon, this is going to be really great because you can hit this player scanner, the survey beacon, right? Figure out where everyone was, because you just recently got scanned at Harvester, so someone could very well be nearing you. And Honestly, Rain Day, I've got some facts here on tour. The oldest master level Apex player currently. So now I
My
gotta step up my
goodness.
game.
I am
step up my game.
impressed. Yes, I am impressed. I've seen the name. I feel like I've even seen Tor in the stream. But also just the oldest level master level player. That's an incredible feat. You could see it's a gaming chair. I don't know if we can go back to this, but that's a different type of gaming chair than what I'm seeing a lot of the youth run. Okay, that was like my uncle's gaming chair where he is sitting and playing World of Warcraft in between online meetings for 8 hours a day and doing great at it. So I love it. There's something to be said about being super comfy and get your game on.
Oh yeah, I need 100. Yeah.
I need to be comfy while gaming, especially depending on how many hours a day you're going to be sitting in that chair just locked in. I know yesterday I think I played Apex for like 6 hours straight, and I sit cross-legged like a crazy person, Rain Day. So it's got to be a cozy chair.
I could
Oh yeah,
stand the
I-
song
just
there
getting
if you
cozy
wanted.
is one of those things that gamers are professionals at. You know, I would say gaming advice about games, about anime, about you know, I think comfortable chairs. Those are three things that I would say gamers,
Okay.
you know, they really have cornered the market on.
Ooh, speaking of cornering the market, we're just going straight out to the
corner.
complete edge of the ring, looking for whatever we can find. Back to see what Peeps has been up to, playing alongside His and Hers Live. Something super funny, because I was watching the draft, right? And we all know that His and Hers Live is the duo stream between Juka and Andrew, and they put on so many community-run tournaments as well. But he was like, do we know who is playing from His and Hers Live? And people are like, does it matter? Does it matter? Like, which one? Do we care if it's Juka or Andrew? They're both good, right?
Well, you know, it is an interesting thing because to me, it's more of just a technical question of I'm curious is how do they decide who plays in what tournament? What is the
Ooh.
process? Is it rock paper scissors? Is it who cooked dinner last night or who's cooking dinner tonight? I'm trying to figure out what the process is in the home. So you know, but it's all love. They do a great job as well. You know, many tournament organizers, and they are one of the premier ones in the Apex Legends scene. Also, you see minus Tempo and squad there as well. But a lot of teams just setting up. You know, World's Edge had this kind of pace before. Very, very simple. You know, very kind of to the book. Not a lot of early contests. And 15 squads left. Round 2 about to close in. We're seeing actually quite a bit of Ramparts as well, and a little bit more Pathfinders than I would have expected to see, to be honest.
Path's
Oh, and they're
just
even
straight
making
fun.
it harder to see who's playing here. I know it's Juka, Andrew, because Juka, you know, she took her hand off the keyboard, you know.
Oh, no, they're obviously
they're-
one person's controlling the mouse, the other one's controlling the keyboard. Obviously.
Oh, that's
I mean,
it.
Could you imagine? Could you just imagine Peeps would be like, no, Andrew, you need to lock it in. Juka, hands off. You know what, to be fair, what if Juka's just sitting there casting over Andrew in their gameplay? Because that's awesome if so.
I love it. Or maybe they're switching games. I don't know if that's possible.
that'd be
they may
cute.
not let
Yeah.
it. That would be cool, though. I would love it. It's a fun setup that they've got going on. Amazing to build that kind of room right there. It's kind of goals, you know.
Little squad goals. Speaking of squad goals, Sweet Dreams once again on the recovery. Has Shay's banner, but doesn't have Nikki's. And it seems like we are on a full out run trying to. Oh, perfect. Yeah, we love that.
Could try to craft. Would be able to get both that way, but I think Sweet's just a little bit more cautious than that. And you could hear the words going, you might just have to rat. That could be the case. And especially since he realizes, look at how fast a G7 could take away your health bar.
No!
He knows.
And unlucky for Sweet to fall there. Went to throw down the amped cover, but we all know it just takes a few seconds to set up. But it's not going to be enough. Actually, shout out to Ambush for locking in the Newcastle for them team and Timmy on the Pathfinder. This just makes sense.
Yeah. And look at that. Easy. It was someone who was creeping as a Loba, just trying to survive. But you're right. Just a Newcastle from Ambush. Casey Dilla gets shot. That might have been a Kraber, because that's 140, looks like, health right off the bat, or a couple of shots. Multiple teammates. Hits the shield batteries, already in the zone. It's kind of a dangerous spot. Timmy can't quite see the team yet. But, of course, you knew Timmy was probably going to go towards his Pathfinder, the one he's dropping 20K, 20 kills, 10K damage videos on. every single day on his YouTube channel, things people dream of, just a regular gameplay for its dinner.
Yes, sir. True grinder right there. The position here from Hal. You think back to the World's Edge, our first map of the day where Sweet had won it out, and now things look a little dire for that squad. It was Hal's team who got second place in that ending, kind of a little bit outside of Tree. But we've kind of bunkered down in or it looks like more a little bit more like Overlook here. So we'll have to see. Maybe they can get their vengeance on World's Edge and take a map win here.
Yeah, it's very interesting too. I mean, I'm just noticing just the lack of Seer. That's the one character that I thought would be played a little bit more, especially since we saw a lot of Seer on Stormpoint, but just absolutely not played at all. I haven't seen, I think, one, and Rampart's really taken over it. They're holding the low ground. It's something that you can do with a character like this. It's harder to sustain, but it's a little bit better than a Caustic, I would say, because it's a little harder to nade, though. If a nade creeps through,
Oof.
I mean, you got to run. Yeah, you're basically creating a nade box for yourself that'll just explode right onto you.
Be fine. This is fine. Honestly,
This is fine.
I love that we've got the Skull Piercer on the 30-30 coupled with the damage boost that you get using the amped covers. He is just waiting for someone to walk into the line of sight and just unleash the chaos onto them.
Yeah. No, this is going to be the hardest hitting 30-30 shot you could ever have, basically. All you'd need is Vantage to have marked him beforehand, and then that would have been it. But alas, Vantage not being chosen. And our previous game where she was actually an option. This game no longer an option, but it'll keep getting interesting. One of the things, just to finish the note on the character selection, you'll notice no assault characters were available this time around. So in map 5, there's going to be another class not available, as well as in map 6. So stay tuned. It may seem like it's starting to even out, but we will keep adding difficulty to this as the tournament goes on.
Honestly, speaking of difficulty, I'm really shocked that no one has failed yet and locked in a legend that wasn't available and taken -5 points.
That is maybe the most impressive feat of this tournament. I'm not going to lie. No restarts. Congratulations. Congratulations,
They read the rules
Apex
they're
Pros.
living.
My goodness. I mean, shout out Twitch Rivals as well for running a tight ship and making sure that these pros know, hey, we're not restarting. That 5 points also would make a huge difference. You can see some teams barely getting out with 5 points after a game. That would be a whole game wasted. So they do not want to make that mistake at all.
Ooh,
Insane
Jen!
aim from Jin on the iron sights of the Volt from a distance that it might even be hard to shoot with a 1-2 times on an R301. Nice stuff from him. And Girl rocking the Newcastle as well with the catalyst from Mr. Keen.
They just had that gold knockdown res come through moments ago to get Jen Burton back on their feet in fighting condition. And this is working so well. I'm actually really glad the Volt came out of the replicator, went back onto the floor, because it's one of my favorite SMGs, even with no sights on it. I feel like the iron sights are too good. Back to that 30-30 chaos that we were talking about. This one, Timmy doesn't have a skull piercer, but it doesn't matter because his aim's insane.
It is insane. And just the way he dips in and out of ADS and hipfire, or at least letting go of that ADS, just toggling it. It just is so good. Makes him very hard to hit. Paired with the crouch and still having that level of aim during all of that. It's just insane. Really good weapon this season. 53 breaks the armor yet again. Ambush rounding on that outside. Newcastle in a little showcase here. Castle Wall is available. She's going to just throw the mobile shield, which has a perk to move a little bit faster. I think it's actually got that perk enabled right now. You can also add 250 HP to each level of the shield.
Ooh. Girl. Oh my gosh, 1 HP, but she does get a shield back up. And Mr. Kim, I think he just got Krabered or something, which means there's a Kraber in play. It's going to be really dangerous. They don't have a lot of space to work with, but thankfully, Girl on Newcastle trying to use the mobile shield to give them a little bit of cover.
Is looking at Castle Wall, just wants to hold, just trying to find the right spot for it, because she's trying to get up Jen Burton. It's a very, very difficult situation to be in, and right now, luckily, holds it. It's like, why fly? Why use an ability when you can walk there? It's so tempting because it's faster, but now look at the value saved. Now has a Castle Wall, has avoided the issues, and finally things are starting to get spicier. It's been a slow start to our 4th game in World's Edge, but that should let you know that things are getting tense here at Twitch Rivals with our first of the last 3 games here about to come into our final top 10.
Jen just got swung, took too much damage there. There's a rogue Rampart with a charge rifle trying to make a play, but just kind of carrying forward with that shield. The ability of all the other squads to put pressure on the squad pushing Jen Burton here just kept them alive.
And I have Volt Excel. Do you need it? Do you need it?
Love the conversation.
Okay.
Listening in a little bit to the comms of Jen Burton and Girl and Mr. Keem. They've won a game before.
We might have to go underneath the tower.
We gotta kill those shields, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, we gotta go underneath tower. Got it. I heard you.
I'm gonna scan the left.
I can wall us up. I can wall us up.
I can no to the left. Actually, wall up left. Wall up left side.
Alright, ready?
Nice, nice, nice. Walk up, walk up, walk up, walk up.
I wasted my Q.
It's fine.
They're there. They're there.
What about the fence? What about the fence? It's one guy. I cracked him. I cracked him. I'm pushing down. Push left, push left, push left.
Yeah, I'm pushing, I'm pushing.
Yeah, nice. Go. I'm with you. I'm with you.
You can split 50.
Yeah, there's another one. Dead.
Nice,
I need an armor swap. I need an armor swap.
Play the fence. Play the fence. We're in. We're in. Fence is good. Fence is good.
Alright.
Care back, wrap. There's a guy in the zone. Rampart, rampart.
Looking. He's dead. I think
Is
he's
that?
dead.
Okay, okay.
I'm med kidding.
I'm getting
Watch
shot.
height. I'm
Yeah,
missing.
yeah, but you can res him. You can res him. You can res him.
I got you.
Just care the rampart.
High team.
Yeah, you're fine.
Just stay here. Just stay right
The fence
here.
is really safe.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Care is in.
I have a...
Okay, Vernade. We're good.
And that was an amazing moment there just to see how they were able to move in and work with those communication elements of just saying, hey, you got this, I got this, let's trust each other, and let's try to get ourselves another win.
You got this, I got this. Well, Albs got the turbocharged Devo, running out of ammo, only about 60 give or take, but it's enough to allow them to put pressure. Now we get to actually see the squad that was on the high ground, that was giving Girl and Jen Burton so much pressure. Well, it's gonna be Hambino, Legendary Dowell, and Tor. And throwing the Rampart with the mobile minigun on high ground is the scariest thing I could think of.
And just looking from above. You know, this is a really scary proposition, and it's sometimes a team that is in such a good spot where they overcommit is the only way they could lose, and this is at least giving them a little bit of a chance. Jen Burton is alive. Mr. Keem still alive as well. Girl's downed, but they're using that knockdown shield just as a second. The scan is here. Are we safe? And I believe we are. Piercing spikes as well. This is the benefit of having a character like a Catalyst who can provide some defense while your main defender in Newcastle is still getting back full health. She's going to pop a shield bat, and Jen Burton's going to say, not this time, as the doors get barricaded and the shield seals the deal. They are back in full.
How are they alive in the RV? I don't know, but they are making it work, and every player that they take down in full, it gives them that shield core swap that allows them to get back on their feet that much more quicker. But back on over to Albin Mendo, that are relatively close to the center of this. 6 squads in this zone for endgame. We were talking about that as our favorite thing about Apex Legends, is when you have so many teams here at the end and they just full send onto each other. There goes one. Can we get a shield?
So different, so difficult, excuse me, but it works out with a sliver of health, and now none. It was a risky play, and it turned out to not be worth it. They get taken down, but on the other side of things, Girl has done her castle wall. She's planted her castle in the ground and said, this is where we shall rule from. She's got a vantage point of the entire battlefield, but Jen Burton is looking for another kill up on top.
Hey, look, every kill is going to add on to those eliminations. Remember, $500 for the player that has the most elims across all 6 matches. But this squad together has already won a game. They won in map number 2 and down into the final 3. If they win again, this is the consistency that could put them to the top of the leaderboard and keep them there.
Can't imagine this isn't a win. Only the team from up top or right behind could hurt them. There's no way this is going to be a victory for that team coming out of that house. Although they do knock one, it is Imperial Howl. When I say no way, I don't know the CEO's behind that no way, because if he gets a shield core swap, it just could be Hal. He's trying to do it again. It's Mr. Keem versus the CEO, and Keem clutches it up and sends Hal back to the lobby.
The CEO has fallen to Mr. Keem, and Team Jen Burton win their second map of the day.
That was incredible. The way that they were able to play positioning so well. I feel really bad for Hal though, because he was trying so hard, but he had like 5 HP, right?
Yeah, that was the issue. I mean, Mr. Keem, you know, he had about 180 more HP than Hal, and it was still kind of an interesting fight, but that's no shade against him. I mean, he and his team with Girl and Jen Burton put themselves in such a good position. It's hard to clutch up those moments because it becomes really not about your skill. It's about your breathing. Do you choke? Are you focused? And you may not know, but you might have an idea that you're going up against a player who has done this before. So great stuff from them. IRL streamers taking over Apex. I
They're
love it.
just better. They're just better at this moment, right?
Yeah, they have a better sense of direction, right? So it works
that's
out
right.
for 'em.
Technically.
I love it. All right, we are going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to have the standings for you because I am so curious to see where everyone's at now. So we'll be right back. Welcome back. Super excited to see where everyone is stacking up today. That was game number 4. We have 2 more matches to go. And I can't believe the day has been just going by so quickly, Tiff.
Man.
Yeah, it's flying by. Now we're completely done with World's Edge. We only have Stormpoint and Olympus left. I do love that we're kind of bouncing around between all these maps because it's curious to see who's being able to adapt on the fly with all the legend restrictions, and then just seeing everyone kind of swapping on the Newcastle plays. We weren't even thinking that Newcastle was going to come out, and then everyone was clutching up with Newcastle.
Yeah, I honestly really loved seeing Newcastle because You're right. I mean, it's really hard to find a good Newcastle player, right? But also, I feel like Girl just had the perfect setup. She had the gold rush shield. I mean, it could not have gone better in their direction.
No.
All right. Well, the Twitch Rivals community can show off their best Apex Legends plays, wins, and moments by submitting them on X. So here are some of your submissions.
We have a team behind us. Nobody's holding the stairs.
Helping you back. Bro,
Ooh, that was nice.
low. That's okay. I'm fading.
The ranked gameplay, you love to see it.
I knocked another one.
Oh,
I'm me. He's walking back in.
Oh, and it's a Revenant player. I just realized.
Ooh,
Oh my.
what a swing.
Whoa,
Talk
whoa,
about
whoa.
dominance. Yeah,
That was
you're
nice.
good. Run it back.
Stairs.
This is the Revenant in my rank games right here. Clearly, this is why.
yeah.
This is why I'm getting taken out by Revenant.
Yeah, same, honestly.
Yeah, I was gonna say on your team or on the opposite side, but
Oh
I
no,
got
no,
it.
no! Against my team, yeah, on the opposite side. Trust me.
Ooh, big shout out to
Oh.
Johnny Price right here.
Yes.
Dude, did you ever see his gameplay where he was trying to do melee only in Apex ranked? Yeah, crazy.
No, but he's awesome.
God.
He's
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
I hosted him the other day after the Nessie Cup. He's great. Shout out to Johnny Price.
Oh, that was disgusting.
Stop it!
That is amazing. Oh my God, that is
Just better.
amazing.
Just better.
Look at that. Got the OG R9 skin as well. I see
Yep.
you.
The best skin in the game.
Into the
Ooh,
wingman.
don't
The
do
OG
it to him.
loadout. The OG loadout. Is he gonna run through the fence?
Yeah.
Oh,
Easy, easy.
somebody clap.
My favorite thing to shout out when you're like do something sick, like you pull up a Kraber and immediately
Oh.
grab your first shot. Do it again.
Oh
Okay.
my.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh my. Not another one. Not another one. He said, I got time. He said, I got time
It's
for
so
this.
close.
No
I
scope
got
it.
time for Oh!
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, we got a TikTok.
I'm dead.
Yeah.
I'm dead, guys. No, I'm not.
I'm dead, guys.
Revive me,
Everything's fine.
Revive me. Oh, got it. Drop you all, and revive. Revive.
Oh my God.
Jesus. You're not even down.
Dude, you're
I'm down.
alive.
I'm down. Oh,
I was gonna say
Oh my
you're not
God.
even. Yeah. It's fine.
I'm such. I thought I was
Sir, you can move.
Oh.
Oh.
I got it.
I love that.
I love they turned that into a clip.
Taking geyser. I'm dead. Guys.
Oh my
Whoa.
God, the tracking.
Can we talk about this like stretched ratio? Oh my goodness.
Through the smoke, even though it's dissipating. All right, I want him on my squad. Sign me up.
Yeah, that's crazy. Okay. And this one here. Woodland Junk 47 with the PK. Ooh, those snaps.
Ooh.
Okay. Nice. Little swappy. Into the slide.
We clutch the win? Maybe?
U-turn. Kraber. In your head.
Ew, okay.
One more. Wow. Oh, no. I think that would be... I would start to get scared if I was that Gibby now.
I am
I would
scared.
be scared. I'm scared for him. You think the Gibby clutches it, guys?
I don't think so.
Oh.
Oh, with the Kraber? I don't. Yeah.
I don't think so.
Crazy.
That was
Oh
awesome.
my goodness. Those were absolutely amazing clips. It really goes to show just how many Apex players there are. And that's not even half the community. I know we have a lot of them in this Rivals tournament today, but I am so glad that we were able to see some of those submission clips. So go ahead and send those in, guys. Anytime you see Twitch Rivals asking for submission clips, do that, because like those are really great to watch. All right, in the meantime, let's go ahead and take a look at the standings and see where we're at with 2 games left. And for map number 4, I mean, Jen Burton, of course, sitting at the top with 9 eliminations, 21 points overall. And Tiff, TSM's looking a little, I mean, they only got 3 eliminations here.
Look, it's fine. It's very similar to that first map on World's Edge where Hal took second. They got the 9 placement points, but they had 4 eliminations in map 1, and now keeping it consistent. Regardless, all that matters is we're getting points that are in those double digits to try and be consistent. Because at the end of the day, we've got a lot of squads that are having kind of the ebbs and flows, the highs and lows, but if you can just kind of level it out, that'll keep you in the mix.
Oof.
Except if you're Jen Burton and you're leveling out north of 20-point games. That keeps you
gonna
above the mix.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we're starting to see which teams are extremely consistent. Now, I do want to point out, I mean, Randy, you're probably also noticing it, but Hal is also his team is also pretty consistent with 13, 12, and 12. I know map 2, he didn't get any points, but it's still consistent. But unfortunately, it's not in the upwards trend as Jen Burton's team.
No, but game 5, as we take a look at the kills overall, with Jen Burton still ahead, no surprise there. Sweet Dreams, a prize, Yanya, and dropped, as well as Hal right behind him, especially Girl in the Mix. Got to shout that one out because she's on Jen Burton's team, so they have a chance to get first and second if it goes. Game 5 is the pivotal moment because right now it's 61-37 with our second and third place team. So that is what, a 24-point difference. That means if one of those teams win, and Jen Burton and Girl, they have just a normal game, a 5-point game. Maybe they get a goose egg off drop. That means it is now tied up, ready to go for game 6. So this is the game that really sets up who is going to win the tournament. If Hal and them can't pull a game off right now, Stella, basically Jen Burton, Girl, and Keem are running away with it.
I know, yeah, it really only takes, I mean, we talk about the Battle Royale of Apex Legends and how it kind of does resonate with RNG sometimes. So it's possible, you know, Jen Burton's team could get a bad drop or, you know, bad loot and maybe have a really early game fight that takes them out. And Hal's team could come up in first, but we have no idea. So let's just see how the tides roll as game number 5 is ready. We're going to be diving into this. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it's already game number 5.
I know, I can't wait. And it also leads us to the list of legends for game number 5. We were catching you up with the standings, but now time to talk a little bit of theory crafting here as we go into it. We won't have to theory craft too much. We'll be seeing it. But for the assault characters, you have Fuse and Ballistic. For the skirmishers, you have Wraith, Revenant, and Valkyrie available. Controller, only Catalyst, and support, only Mirage. So it looks like we do not have a recon legend in game 5. So no Bloodhounds, characters that can get those scans off. That's going to make rotating very interesting. And I think it's going to mean almost everyone has to have a Catalyst TIF. Otherwise, they just will not know where the circle is.
Exactly. And you're going to have to really prioritize your loot path to get as many Evo caches and those kind of things to get those perk upgrades for Cat, because a lot of the changes that reworked her wall came with those perk trees. So you've got to upgrade at least to that purple shield to get the wall back to somewhat normal. Speaking of wall, Keon Squad, it's where they're going to be dropping. And we were talking about kind of the consistency. Was it Jen Burton's squad that dropped the 0 on Storm Point?
Ooh, you know what? I think it was because we were pointing out how, was it Sweet? They looked a little more confident. I forget who it was, but there was another team that looked way more confident on Storm Point. So I think you're correct.
Yeah, that definitely might have been here. So we'll have to keep all eyes on that, because if they fall early here, that could really open the door for Team Sweet or TSM Hal. But I've been keeping my eyes out. I called them a dark horse. It's going to be Keon, Kine, and K.DeGod. And having this location to loot, you typically have the ring console that spawns. Since we've got K.Dot on the Catalyst, they'll be able to get that ring information to be able to start off Storm Point with the best of goods. I see that charger full, and I'm like, don't touch it. Don't pick it up. Don't do it.
Yeah, and it's so interesting that he gave up. So I don't mind the 3 times on a flatline, but it seems like God just didn't want to go for that, which is interesting. So I don't know. Do you prefer the 3 times or the 2 times on your flatline?
2x. I'm crazy. I don't like the 3x very often because I typically find myself in a situation where if I need to hit fire and for some reason the 3x is just massive and I'm like, eh.
I think I'm with you on that. The 2 times is the perfect scope, but I think on Storm Point, that's a map I would be okay with a 3 times. I do find it intoxicating on like a 30-30, you know, but there's just that perfect synergy sometimes with the 3 times and hitting those shots at that perfect range. It feels better than any other scope when it's actually working, but you know, that requires, again, the hitting the shots part. So, you know, that goes in and out.
Is that how it works? Because that might be my problem. I do like the 3x on the Nemesis though. That I will get involved on. Yeah.
That is nice. I just have felt though, as you play more of Storm Point, it just feels like I'd rather have as much range as possible. And that 2 to 4 has started to supersede the 3. Just because I feel like there's just a lot of poke battles. And remember, we weren't even at halfway for our shield batteries after World's Edge on Stormpoint. We hit it all. We hit it all in one game, and that's because in this map you're shooting from afar and you're sitting back, then you shield bat, you go back and you start poking again. So for me, it's like range seems to be king, but I think a scope is would you say at this point there's a definite best in terms of a certain weapon and scope, or are we gotten to the point where we just say, that is totally personal preference in terms of how good it is for what weapon?
Probably personal preference, but the HCOG is not it. The 1-2, not it either. Like if
No.
I will not pick up, I will take iron sights if I have to use that. But we were just spectating Gent's team, and Gent is playing Mirage.
Oh, I love it.
Yes. Oh
Are you
yeah,
a
we didn't
Mirage,
get
are
to
you a
talk about.
Mirage main, Stella?
I know, but I have this heirloom, so like I feel
Me too.
inclined
Fair
to
enough.
play it more.
Fair
you know?
enough.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. You invested in the character. You definitely got to put some heirloom games in. That's just for
Yeah,
once
so
every
I think
couple of weeks,
I'm gonna ping where
We
are
we,
landing, okay?
we jumped into this a bit quick, and we weren't able to talk about the legends that are available for map 5. So we have Fuse, Ballistic, Wraith, Revenant, Valkyrie, Catalyst, and Mirage. So it's an interesting bunch of characters that are up for grabs.
Okay.
This Revenant
way!
here. Oh, that is gonna be rough. That is gonna be rough. But it really means that even though he was shot out of the sky, I feel like that where he landed, his box, his banner is available. I don't know if they just don't want to risk it.
Sometimes you just gotta risk it for the biscuit, or in this
Yeah.
case, risk it for the Yanya.
That's right. That's right. Totally. I mean, I would kind of risk it for the Yanya at this point.
I 100% would as well. Meanwhile, Peeps here picking up another squad wipe for themselves, starting to get early in on the action on our final map of Stormpoint. Always curious to see how it goes. We got some Wraith in play. Why do I feel like
Lasting bullet, please, sir.
we could
Lasting
have
bull? No. Okay. Well, I mean, I guess you can make an argument for it, but I just think triple the distance on the bullet actually makes it a lot better at actually forcing teams or any players in stuck positions, which happen in these types of modes, to actually move or kind of go the same way throwing a piercing spikes or throwing a caustic barrel would force them to kind of deal with something. I think the care package is okay, but not enough utility, not enough Evo points for me.
I used my only bat.
Ooh. It's gonna be interesting. I love that we've got like our resident ballistic main here to at least talk
Yeah.
about that, because I do not know ballistic's perk tree at all. Girl going down, but it looks like Mr. Keem is able to hop on that res immediately, with Jen Burton kind of suppressing here alongside the coveted 3x on the Nemesis. I'm just gonna do a handshake because name a better duo at this point.
Yeah, I mean, you were highlighting this, and look how good it is from this range as well. It's really nice. Still, again, look how far that is. I mean, to keep that aim, you're putting yourself in a position of having to be Jen Burton level, but he's hitting all of those shots, which shows you why he is one of the few players in North America, in the world, who have been able to hoist a championship trophy. But continuing on with Girl and Mr. Keem, they were right alongside. Maybe Mr. Keem traveling to the cities that he did that in North America and in London, and maybe Girl, watching and sometimes hosting and being on the desk with us in some of those events as well. Obviously a team that's got a ton of experience in many different ways. But you kind of mentioned, I wanted to talk about this team only because I think Girl, to me, as a secondary carry here, because Mr. Keem plays Apex, but is obviously an IRL streamer and doesn't specialize the way that Girl and Jen Burton do. Girl has a competitive spirit that I would put up against most people's in terms of wanting to win. And I think that goes really well with having an IGL and a talent like Jen Burton on the squad. They seem to be bouncing off each other really nicely, probably better than almost any duo that I've seen this entire tournament.
Yeah, well, to be fair, Jen picked up Girl right off the rip. I'm pretty sure he had about 8th draft pick, and she was his first pickup. And it was no questions asked. He was like, Girl, right then and there. And you can see why. Maybe they've had history competing alongside each other. We know Girl has had a stint in competitive nature, and maybe one day will return to it. But obviously, this squad is doing something right, because they are at the top of the leaderboard, and they have made such a gap. Yes, we're playing small and kind of stacking on each other here at Echo, but I'm curious to see where that circle will pull. Elsewhere, Shay's down on Sweet. I feel like Sweet has had a little bit of a regain blender in a sense throughout these past couple of games.
Well, it's been interesting. This is not an easy tournament, and it's definitely been a couple of games where they've lost a player and had to try to get them back. But that is the way it goes in a lobby this good at this caliber, and we know this week can win. We know that that's going to potentially happen. So they're near Echo. They've got a chance. Nice Swig, who is the one who's put this thing together alongside Twitch, rocking that longbow, and him and Dookie Bird minus tempo, finding a way to laugh about everything, which you just love to see.
If there's one person in a lobby with a longbow, it's Nicewig, and they will tell you that all the time. So any player that knows Nicewig, which is probably all of them, but knows that he plays longbow and gets shot at by a longbow, they're gonna be like, I know exactly where Wig is. It's right over there. And if, Tempo's got the charge rifle, then it singles them out even more, because how rare is that?
That's right. Now, I love also what we've seen with Noko and Lulu. They've had a really great synergy. Noko and Lulu, if you don't want to watch them play Apex, which why would you not want to do that? But you could watch them cook, because they do a lot of cooking streams as well together, Tiff. So the synergy is maximal here with the Austin-based crew.
In the kitchen, in game, in life. Yeah, I think they've done like a pizza cooking stream before, and honestly, the pizzas looked phenomenal.
Yeah, Lulu also recently engaged. Congratulations to that as well. And a lot of big things going on for everyone here. But Reek playing in his first Twitch Rivals. I love their spot. You can see it's right underneath the top side of the center of Echo, which is actually usually in. And this is also a spot that we've seen teams come close to winning from, or at least should have won from, but other teams have made some heroic pushes. It requires something like a Horizon to be able to really traverse it if the zone pulls in that final zone, because those stairs will be out of bounds and walking up them is tough. This is actually one of the best places to hold, because you've just got water on the outside, Tiff, and you could kind of peek left, right, and it's impossible to really climb those stairs. And teams are hesitant to poke from above. So this is a good spot for Nicewig. We'll see what he can actually do with it, though.
Ooh. Hey, at least the teams are gonna share their stuff. She's like, I have one shield cell left, and everyone just starts throwing all of the heals on the floor here for Doki, who playing Mirage, has the Mirage heirloom, so we're styling here. Now we just need some pork chops, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Little Mirage pork chops. Do you ever see the Apex cookbook? I want to make Mirage's pork chops.
I have the Apex cookbook.
Me too.
I do.
What?
Yeah. Do you have it?
No, I don't. Maybe I should get it, man. I'm slacking.
Yeah. I've got the Apex cookbook. I got the Harry Potter cookbook.
Oh,
we're all with themed cookbooks over here.
I was gonna say we should do like a 3-way Discord call and stream us trying to cook it all at the same time.
Oh, I'm down. What are you guys doing after this? You ready?
I guess we're cooking. Let's be real.
We're cooking.
Cancel your plans. Let's go. No, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I have someone who offered to cook food for me tonight. My cousin offered to come over and cook some food for us. So I'm going to take that. Whenever you get an opportunity for that, I think you got to take it.
I thought that was you.
You do have to take it, and Tempo does have a charge rifle. So we've got this vibe squad with the longbow, charge rifle, Mirage, all the bamboozles for the foozles, and a pretty solid spot pending on where this ring starts to pull. We've got the majority of Echo Station ahead of us, or Echo HQ. I don't know why I like to call it station, though.
Watch out. A charge rifle and a longbow are staring at you. The two most feared weapons in Apex Legends right now.
Speaking of feared legends, Hal on Wraith. Back in the day, Hal was like the Wraith mainstay.
Yeah, it's been interesting to see Wraith come in and out of the meta. I'm very optimistic about Wraith's return in the near future, and I think players like Design, not in this one, but DSG, and it's Timmy representing that today, has done a great job placing 5th in our pro league or right around there, and really using Wraith in the finals and to much avail. I think it's a good pick. And I think it honestly is just a really good character, and constantly at this state, if she stays like this without any other nerfs, will always be a really good character.
I love her. They've reworked her a few times, and at least the perk systems kind of allow you to lower kind of your tack cooldown and maybe wind it up quicker. But Lulu, the Kraber Queen, this time going for the amped up Sentinel. Now, this thing can be dangerous, right? A one shot to
man.
the head hits for 156, which is detrimental, especially if you haven't moved past the blue shield.
Yeah. I mean, most players are going to have a helmet. It's insane. And it's really the best, in my opinion, sniper by far in the game. It's one of the better weapons in the game, in my opinion. And I think people are only just kind of coming to the realization of it because no one really runs a sniper for real. It's usually just been a 30-30, a G7, a Nemesis if you need some mid to long range because snipers just lose efficacy up close. You have to swap. You miss your first. You don't finish in your first magazine of your AR, your SMG, or whatever it is. You got to swap. And a sniper just doesn't do it for you. A 30-30 G7, you can hip fire and win. But the Sentinel is that good that people will still pick it up. And shout out to Monsoon for pioneering it again in the Pro League this season. But, you know, hitting for something like 156, or if somebody doesn't for some reason have a helmet, 176 is what that hits amped. It's in a nuts level of game change type damage that you just can't fight after that. And that's what the Sentinel does. Even a body shot 88 amped up is massive, and it just stops people in their tracks. So it's one of those things you just gotta love, and I really appreciate that. It's a little underrated, but so good.
I love that Sweet is just playing his life down below, trying to stay out of line as of anyone. You've got the Fuse Knuckle Cluster right in front of his face, but back on over to Jen Burton. They've already won 2 maps, and now we're making it towards end game. But you gotta deal with NiceWig himself on the longbow, grabbing a knock ahead, throwing the nades to try and maybe get that full. But this rotation out of here, they just have to hang it towards the right and clear their left out. But it's gonna be tough.
Don't mess with the boy on the alternator, though. This is going to do some damage. And for somebody who needs one main weapon and one sniper, this is the type of main weapon you can do. And one of the reasons the snipers can be valuable here is because you have so many weapons that can just do it all. Whether it's a Havoc, whether it's an alternator with your disruptor rounds, you know, whether it's a wingman if you pick up off the care package, and even if it's a Volt, you have a certain type of aim like Jen Burton. It can kind of be your all be all end all type weapon. And Mindo here with the Mirage showing off that invisible res, going to get Trick 2G up, and Albrelelli trying to just make this push on the Revenant. I don't know if he has the ultimate. I don't think he does, and they're just going to have to try to cross outside of zone just to a better area, but they should be running close to Lulu in that squad.
We checked in recently with this squad, and they were all 3 up, so chaos has set in. We've lost out on Mr. Keem, Girl barely alive, and we are almost in shambles. Jen Burton pops the ult, peeks up to Echo, starts putting pressure on squads, trying to rotate in and just mere bullets away, but the ring does the rest of the work, thankfully.
I'm telling you, this is a really good spot to hold. It's just, there's no reason to push these stairs, and you can't. So everyone's fighting up here. This team, Jen Burton, if they play it right, which it feels like they will, is just going to every now and then peek up, be a nuisance, get a couple of, look at that right there, and then basically ruin somebody's day. Albrelelli, he's not going to be able to poke because he's not going to go and dip his head down to see that staircase. And so now they're trying to push. Could be a kill here. And Albrelelli with the Havoc and the turbocharger says, not today. He's going to get the shield battery off. Could this be Mindo, Trick 2G, and Albrelelli are trying to make a move, but a Catalyst Wall shuts it down, and you can barely see anything. He's just going to try to medkit and stay right here where it should be safe.
Visual clutter goes hard. I think Trick was the ballistic that Jen Burton got the knock on. So to see Trick back up and at him, that's really nice. But we did see a Wraith getting mixy earlier, so we'll have to see who that will. But Clara drops down to the low ground, tries to heal, but inevitably falls to, yet again, another pesky Wraith.
Yeah, again, it's going to be very difficult. Jen Burton keeping an eye on Albrelelli, and if he doesn't want to fight it, he just drops down to that low staircase. Echo HQ. Now, there's a team who could play underneath them, and that's the thing that isn't happening now. But that team, at a certain point, if this zone closes, is going to have to go all the way up, and without the staircase, it's going to be difficult. But that's where we saw Furia take this win, coming up off a Horizon gravity lift, and Keon getting the job done there. Keon probably not in this end zone right now, but Boom Razzle, Verholst, and Maiden Star certainly are. Maiden Star on the fuse, and that is a very good character to have in this type of late game.
Especially when there's not many fuses and they're able to kind of put pressure onto Jen Burton's squad, who's down below, who did actually get Mr. Keem back into the lobby and up to a trio. Boom Razzle snaps around, but the stun comes through, but we're still somehow alive and holding the remnants of high ground.
Yeah, this is amazing. Look, that team now is going to have to push. The zone did not pull. I cannot believe Albrelelli stayed alive that long and actually outlasted them. The zone pulling so far away, and this time it does not benefit the Echo HQ teams. It is going to benefit the teams like we the people, Apex! He says, and he is here with the squad. He's thrown the Catalyst ultimate, and now they're trying to play for not only a top 3, but maybe a win here.
Look, you gotta start putting the pressure on the reset. With Mina going down, it allows Peeps to kind of play behind the knockdown and try to get that shield bat off. Piercing spikes to block off the push across the rock here.
I'm gonna pop 2 cells.
They're getting shot at.
You do it.
Go for the res
You
right
pop those cells.
And it's a good call. He tries to get that piercing spike up. There might be a spot he could throw it, but he's not really concerned with that right now. There's so many other things to do, and he's just going to try to get involved in this fight. Maybe a little bit of KP. Maybe he hurts this team pushing for it, and he does. Off the drop, though, picks it up. And this is great because now they are in a zone that favors them at least positionally. And Optic dropped. Make sure that that Valkyrie goes down in the sky.
Little into the void to go ahead and get out, reposition yourself, and focus on healing. But look who's still alive. Vying for the most eliminations throughout our series is Sweet. The kill leader of this lobby on solo takes to the sky via that skydive and just gets cut right down. Dropped the other solo in the lobby, likely gonna fall. Now you think about Peeps here coming into this map in the 19th place, and they win.
Apex! You gotta love the man, the myth, the legend, we the people, doing it for the people, and Tom Brady.
I love to see it. That was such great positioning on Peeps' team side. I mean, they did a great job of playing that circle. And I mean, I feel like a lot of teams actually didn't move on drop. They just stayed in that same POI forever. So that was a really great Storm Point match where we didn't have to wait for people to converge into one location. And I think it was great, Tiff.
No, 100%. Anytime you're getting those zones that pull the very southernmost areas of Storm Point, even though I know, Rain Day, you and I, we've had a lot of experience with zones going Echo HQ, so have some of our pros. The moment they think it's going that route, you'll see people start rotating. Clara's team taking the Trident through the water on the most southern area. Even Jen Burton, Nicewig squad, they set up shop early, and it kind of pays off that way. But Peeps getting ahead of the curve, being outside of Echo HQ, kind of letting people rotate into them, gave them the advantage. I'm sure they picked up a ton of eliminations.
Yeah, Randy, can we talk about Sweet outlasting to top 3? Like, I thought he died when the other team started dropping down the stairs. Like, I don't even know where he went.
It's the Sweet Special. It's always on sale, and it is always available, and it's always a bestseller because he somehow finds a way to be in those final spots. If there's a top 4 and there's a rat, I'd say 90% of the time it is LG Sweet.
It's pretty great. I think he borrowed that Harry Potter like cloak of invisibility to help him out because there's no way, dude. He was out in the open.
Mischief managed.
Yes,
that's right.
Exactly. All right, well, chat, our friends at State Farm need your help today in selecting the perfect moment for us to shine a bright light on during today's State Farm Spotlight. Check out the poll now and choose the one you'd like to see us break down later in the show. Welcome back. I hope you got your votes in because we are going to see the clips very shortly that you picked. Really excited to see what y'all pick. I mean, there were a lot of great moments this entire day, Rain Day. I don't know how you narrow it down to one.
Yeah, I mean, and it could go from so many different point of views, like somebody having a big moment that we didn't expect, like just We the People clutching up that win when you know they needed it and they were kind of a low level standing position trying in their 5th game, or maybe one of our highlights are teams like Jen Burton and Girl who have won 2 times today.
Yeah, well, we've got the name and it's time for the State Farm Spotlight where we shine a bright light on something special from today's action. So, chat, earlier in the show, you actually chose you chose Nice Wig's dysfunctional team clip for this segment. So now it's time to light it up.
Temple, I believe in you.
All right, so
guys are doing so good.
the
Did you get the
dysfunctional team spotlight.
Nice, here we go.
How dysfunctional is it though? That's what I want to know.
Totally dysfunctional. We got this though. We're good. We're good. We're fine. We're fine.
You res, let
We're
me, let me
fine.
shoot
They're
these guys up
fine.
there.
It's just
You res.
chaos.
I'll res. Yeah, get it. Temple, I believe in you.
You guys are doing so
Don't
good.
as much. Did you get the?
He did not get the Moby. He did not. He got the Moby. Nice, here we go. He did.
Oh, okay.
Totally dysfunctional. We got this though. We're good. We're good. We're fine. We're fine.
You res, let me shoot these guys up here. You res.
I love this chaos. I mean, they said they were here for the vibes, and they absolutely were. So before we get back to the gameplay, let's shine one more quick spotlight on our friends over at State Farm. Whether in game or in real life, State Farm is on your level. Like a great neighbor, State Farm is there. I mean, it's not just Wig's team that we see these vibes on, right, Tiff? Like, everyone seems to be having such a great time with Rivals. It's competitive, but not too competitive to where you can't enjoy yourself.
That's my favorite part about Rivals, right? The community coming together to have a good time. Yes, you're getting competitive, but it's all about bringing people together. And the cool thing is these teams were picked via that snake draft that happened an hour before the show. So maybe you haven't even played with the pro that you've been playing with. I mean, we heard from Nicewig earlier, it's like, it's a time to connect people that might not have gotten a chance to play together before.
Yeah, and let's see how they're doing too. So we're gonna take a look at the standings, see where everyone is at with map 5. Peep, of course, taking first place with 20 total points. 4 above team dropped in second place, Rain Day.
That is huge. And team dropped as well. Really needed that. This is also good for Sweet Dreams and Imperial Hal, who make a little bit of movement towards that top team, Jim Burton and squad, who with 6 end up with 67 total points now. It's going to be very, very hard for a team to catch them, but you never know what can happen. Definitely shakeups in the middle of our lobby. And as you look at the back half of this, teams that maybe are surprised here with the team that won, Team Yanya having a 1-pointer, but we saw how he went down flying and unfortunately taken out. And Team Noko, who we've seen a lot of, Lulu and Ireek of Awesome and Noko being in top positions, top 2s, only getting 12th place there as we look at our final tally before we go into game 6.
Yeah, Tiff, I mean, listen, we said that, you know, anything can happen. It could be anyone's game. This is the last match. People are going to have to make up some massive points to try to get up into first place, which I don't even know if it's possible at this point. But if you look at 2nd to 5th place, it's anyone's game.
It really is. And honestly, despite Jen Burton's squad having those 2 massive victories, the other maps have not been really, yes, they've been enough to kind of keep almost a 20-point gap, but a 20-point has been kind of that average win that we've seen throughout our squads, with especially Peeps just picking up 20 points. So at the end of the day, any squad here that's above maybe top 5, if they win, they could unseat Jen Burton if they fall early. So you've got to be consistent here on the final map of the day. And when we think about it that way, we're going to Olympus, which is already a wild card in itself.
Yeah, that's true. Also, the list of legends that players are able to choose in this one is going to be Fuse, Ash, Mad Maggie, Controller is going to be Watson, Rampart, and support is Loba and Mirage and Conduit. So it's kind of all up there.
Wow.
Yeah, you get a big choice.
No skirmisher, no recon.
Nope.
Yeah. I mean, Watson is probably going to be picked. You could go Watson Rampart and maybe add the assault of your choice. But I think Loba or Conduit will be a very safe pick as well. But if you go a Watson, Conduit, Loba kind of thing, is that not enough, I don't know, firepower in your mind? Are you playing a little bit too much of a safe game? I don't know, but this is a tough choice to make in 5 minutes, Stella, with everything on the line.
I know. I mean, I agree. I think Loba could be a really good pick on Olympus, help you loot up quickly and get into fights and try to lower the playing field a little bit, you know? But we'll see. The game is actually ready. The fastest 5 minutes in getting y'all ready for for this list of legends. Hopefully the players are prepared, but let's get to it.
I'm only level 35 on
All right. They said, let's get to it.
We got a good, really
Oh my, what a choice here. So girl going Fuse, Rampart for Mr. Keem, and Jen Burton going Conduit.
That's gonna be really
Surprises?
interesting. No, that is surprising. I think back to when Dark Zero, it played Conduit historically in comp, and they were always slotting Sykes onto the Conduit role, but Jen Burton bringing the helm now. Now, this is important for them. This map here, Jen Burton is currently the most elim player. He's got 21 eliminations with Sweet behind him, and they're in first place. So a big map 6 is needed to close it out.
All right, Sweet Dreams and Baby Nikki. I think that looks like either a Rampart or a Fuse dropping down. Something on the back. And that's probably a Fuse. Okay. So with that, nice early alternator pickup with an extended magazine into a Volt. It's pretty solid. Yeah,
I think
so
Shay's a Fuse main, or has been at some point in time in my life. I don't know if I'm making that up, but I feel like I've seen Shay play a lot of Fuse.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's an auspicious start when you can get a Volt alternator off the runway right when you land, and if there's a disruptor round to the right of these stairs, this is going to be really rigged here. But Sweet Dreams and Bad Gal Shay, as well as Baby Nikki, trying to do their best, Tiff, and they're going to swap it out for the Prowler, actually. Maybe just not opting for the disruptor to come in and just saying, let me pick something pretty steady. Prowler pretty good this season as well.
See, I'll do that if I want to find a flatline later. I'll go ahead and pick up a weapon that has the heavy, but you never know. Regardless, finding 2 top-tier SMGs right off drop, well, we all know they kind of reworked the spawn of the ARs and the marksmans, but there's still so many choices for SMGs around. Unless you're me, then it's just Mozambique here everywhere.
You know, and we used to make that joke, and it could be really funny. It's less funny as the seasons progress because you start to see how, you know, the Mozambique can actually fry if you get the right shotgun bowl and you get hammer points on that thing. And so, you know, it's one of those choices as a ballistic main, or I'm not really giving myself the main yet, but having played him a lot this season, it's one of those top 4 choices, you know, I think, for a weapon that you want as a third that could be really, really deadly in the right scenario. Speaking of that, though, going over to Hal and Emmy Juju and Evil Toaster, a team that if they win and something happens to Jim Burton and Girls Squad, well, could take first place. He's on the Loba. Evil Toaster rocking that Rampart, and Emmy on the Ash.
Curious to see where they're headed, and you can see they're dropping the evac tower, maybe looking for a little bit of a rotation. But over to dropped Gabs and Abe going for the Trident to hit the rotate, but we have a long way to go. We got a brief glimpse at where that circle's pulling, and well, Snipe Down Squad, they're a little bit closer to the second ring.
You know, I just realized something, and I think why we might not be seeing Ramparts, but you know, we are. I thought Rampart might be like almost everybody choosing it, but we're seeing some different choices there. But I think when you look at Mad Maggie, I mean, really counters Rampart and what she's able to do with her Riot Drill. And so if you're running a Rampart late game and you've got a Maggie just harassing you through those shields, it's one of those things that makes your defense really irrelevant. So surprised not to see maybe more Watsons, maybe, you know, in 5 minutes, considering all the interactions, it's kind of tough. But that will be interesting to pay attention to if these Maggies start giving Rampart a hard time.
Especially with the perk tree upgrades, you can make the Riot Drill larger, you can add the Fiery Blaze to the Wrecking Ball, but for Team Sweet Dreams, they're already going under a little early game contention, so they're going to hit that evac and start rotating out. But this isn't like a bad spot for endgame, because you can see this is where the zone is inevitably pulling, but trying to get to the back of the POI here. Now, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, so Sweet's on Ash, so we're kind of piecing together what they're playing bit by bit by bit here. Yep, girl on the fuse. And I wonder if this is the conversation they were having as well. The fuse and the rampart and the conduit. And hitting this ring scan, they're going to realize, yep, it's all the way back there. So they're going to start making their move quickly. Who is in the back, though, at the very back of it is Hal. And they have positioned themselves really, really well. This is pretty much the strongest building, especially when you have a Loba inside. Don't have to move much. And you've got rotation ability as well. Setting up for a pretty nice zone for Hal.
I wonder if that's what their thought process was when they were going for like the back of docks, knowing they can rotate early, because in those quick rotating squads, it's almost a must to have Loba for the reasons that you mentioned. You throw down the black market, you can kind of resupply on everything because you forego getting a lot of quality loot in that early game by focusing on your position.
Okay, that's fine. We're good. We're fine.
And here,
There's people
here's our
above
team
me.
that had our State Farm clip of the day for being dysfunctional. Nice wig on the Ash, minus tempo on the Watson, and Doki Bird on the conduit, sitting in 19th place. But they had 8 points last game, and they got 3. So essentially, you know, pretty decent in terms of overall point score, what they added. But this is one of the teams to pay attention to, Tiff. Probably one of the better spots. And one of the teams that actually could, with a win, change our entire standings.
They're everywhere, Hal. The people are everywhere. And when you've got a charge rifle, man, that's where things get mixy. Okay, so you thought Hal's squad was all the way in the back. We knew that Sweet positioned from the front of ship all the way towards the back of docks, but kind of angled out towards the side, almost a little more towards the landing pier. And this can be really challenging knowing how many people are running snipers. You've got Nicewig elsewhere on the longbow with the Skull Piercer. Evil Toasters picked up a charge rifle. We didn't see Minus Tempo's gameplay, but based on what we've seen historically, man's got a charge rifle in his hands.
Yeah, no doubt about it. The #1 charge rifler in North America seems to be Minus Tempo, and I'm okay with that. You know, everybody's got to have a guilty pleasure at some point. And Minus Tempo, he's got to, you know, find a way to get that value on a pretty underused weapon right now. But at the end of the day, they're going to be sitting and enjoying, hopefully getting some placement points, jumping up the rankings here in this final game as they look to scan. And they're going to see that it pulls a little bit north, so Sweet's team will have to move, but I think Hal's team is still just barely going to be in that zone. Oh, no, they're not going to be in that zone at all. They're going to really have to move. All these teams are going to have to move. That is a huge swing.
To fight
that
night,
is
though?
a huge swing.
Can they end in fight night? I'm trying to
punching?
think.
Oh, my God.
Could you
It's
imagine?
a punching zone. That would be amazing. Actually, I can't imagine. I can imagine that. That would be awesome.
Are you trying to manifest it right now? Do you want to
I
get your
am trying to
fists out and
manifest
be
that,
like,
guys.
all right.
It's the only fair way. All right, we got charge rifles and we've got Havocs. It's just the only fair way is fisticuffs here to finish off our Nicewig showdown. Bad Gal Shay realizes we're going to have to move soon. 48 seconds. What do you do here? Just walking in. You could.
Yes, like we're in here for the next zone for the time being, but with 17 squads up in the lobby, you don't want to be the last person trying to rotate towards fight night because it's going to be so open despite all of these buildings. They're all going to be occupied. And I love that we've got all of the Watson fences to try and obviously create a massive presence here, stave off any pushes, but no one's going, oh, we do get to see that ring. That's kind of dirty. It's not like interacting with any of the prior zones, which means it could potentially bounce around yet again.
But one of the big things that I worry about coming in too late to a zone like this is, wow, big tether there. Jin Burton could be in trouble. It might just be a little bit of damage, a little poke. Just say, we're here, show some presence. Is that if you're trying to climb up Fight Night, or you're trying to climb up this area from where they are, there is this huge open space. And you can see from where he is, that's the direction where Hal and Sweet's squads are. It's an uphill climb, and there are staircases in it that you have to traverse while people are shooting. If anyone's paying attention to you, it is a very hard rotation. That's why I kind of like Sweet's choice on Ash, because there's a fast rotation opportunity in a situation where Hal's team, though they have the Loba and a lot of sustain, may struggle with a little bit more.
I mean, you got good points all throughout there, Rain Day. I'm not going to lie. I would love to see that Ashe ult come in clutch for the end game. But for Team Jen Burton, our most winningest squad, your current first place, your most elim achieved player in Jen Burton themselves, the team captain, they want to set themselves up to just completely take this entire Twitch Rivals event.
They have done a great job so far. And Mr. Keem is bringing the energy. You could tell. And of course, getting pressured by that Ashe Arcstar. It's one of the things that makes her so good. And on the Longbow Girl, trying to just destroy those Rampart barricades. It's a little bit of a stalemate here between two Rampart teams facing a distance. I'm not sure anyone's going to get the better end of it. And even if they do they risk pushing it? I think it's just a battle of resources right now. But with a conduit, it's going to be so much easier to kind of play this game.
Yeah, you can just kind of keep that Radiant transfer, keeping you healed up. Maybe then focus on actual healing with your shield cells or bats after this has gone through. But I will say, every time Jen Burton puts one of those amped covers up, it immediately gets destroyed. So really good shouts towards the squad on the other side. I'll have to keep an eye on that. Elsewhere, Sweet finally on the move, Rain Day.
Yep, and gonna have to do it. The action is still not used. And, or actually did just, I believe it did just get used. And that's the highlight that it is active. But this is that staircase I said is so difficult to climb. They didn't have to climb it. They just went through it. And no damage can be done there. You got to go in with fisticuffs. That's what's make this so interesting. Of an end zone. I mean, I've never seen this in my life because we don't cast Olympus in this way. But boy, oh boy, I mean, a new problem, game 6 to solve. How do you deal with someone you can't shoot unless you go in there and punch them?
You just get in the ring and challenge him. You know, Sweet was trying to light that dude up with the Prowler. He dives into the ring because you can't shoot into it. You just have to get in the mix and throw up the fists. But for Girl, this has been the standoff of ages inside here.
I'm coming.
Okay, watch your back as well.
See if they can continue to hold the zone with 16 squads left. That was an unlucky Knuckle Cluster, but so far has had a nice rotation of a couple longbow shots, conduit heal, Knuckle Cluster, dodge, the arc start, the arc snare. But there's a Maggie ult, and so they've lost their competition.
Keep watching now, okay?
I like the comms coming out, trying to get Keem, hey, keep watching your angle. Keem has been absolutely clutching up throughout the entire Apex Legends Showdown featuring Nicewig here, because let me just remind you, that 1v1 against Hal, yeah, that happened. And here we go! They got the fists out! Sweet finally dabbles into the ring and starts throwing them.
I just can't believe that we have gotten to see the fisticuffs decide a crucial moment in what could be a Twitch Rivals winning play. It was fight night and only punches that could determine a winner here. They've got 3 kills. They're top 13. But the problem is Jen Burton, Girl, and Mr. Keem are still alive. They're right in front of where Sweet is. There's a Kraber and a Devotion in the hands. Talk about being unlucky, not being able to use some weapons.
There's a Prowler on the ground here and a flatline.
What an upgrade for endgame here. Will we see map 6 end in a Kraber no scope? Because we had a ton of those clips that got submitted early. And now I'm like, did we just manifest that ending here for game number 6?
We might have. I mean, what an opportunity here to showcase what Olympus could look like competitively. I understand why there might need to be some conversations before we put it into the rotation, because zones like that, as much as they're fun, you know, are they gonna sign off on it? Are the pros gonna be happy for a moment like that? They're certainly able to do it, and that's what makes Twitch Rivals special, though. Stella and Tiff, it's just this idea that we can do things a little bit different, a little bit more relaxed, have a little bit more fun than we might do on a traditional pro circuit for Apex.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to point out how funny it is that I feel like we got more action on Stormpoint than on Olympus so far. Like, I feel like action was so much faster in Stormpoint, which is not the case in usual matches.
Woo, let's go. Nikki grabs another. This is the comeback squad from Sweet Dreams. Now, Rainday, when you were talking earlier, which squad again? Please remind everyone at home in chat that's watching this that made that epic comeback for the end.
Yeah, it was Sweet Dreams and Imperial Hal. And part of the thing is they're separate now, but they're both in around second place. And so who is going to take the cake? It seems like Sweet Dreams, Nikki, and Bad Gal Shay have found a little rhythm and some Watson fences to hold down this zone. But I love the hammer points. She's just running out of shotgun ammo for it. But Sweet, he's not running out of energy. He's got a turbocharged devotion, 4 shots in the Kraber, and he's going to reload as well.
I don't have Jen. I don't have Jen.
Okay, it's fine.
You know what I think about? Now I understand why Sweet is playing Ash. It's the passive to show you where everyone has been eliminated on the map, which allows him to IGL because it gives him the information on positioning.
There's absolutely some really good points in the idea that that passive could be one of the swaying factors as well. I just think you also are, you're missing mobility in a situation where a zone like this, I'm not sure if they would have been able to make it. It was a tough fight for them to even get to that spot without the ultimate. So for me, you're right to point that out. I think it's just great that Sweet brings it all together in terms of not just the play in game, but also the macro, the element of thinking about what are we going to need for real, and also saying Watson, not Rampart, because Rampart can get bullied by the fuses, by the Maggies. Watson, nuh-uh.
Nuh-uh, no bully here. But Jen Burton, can they win a third map of the day? They've got high ground. They're good on the ring. This could be a solid position for them. Jen Burton, using the Radiant transfer, has the energy barricade in pocket for endgame. We just have to survive all the vert nades and get back to cover.
They certainly have done so well. They're our leaders so far. They look to be our leaders to win today. Unless something unbelievable happens, they most likely will be. It's an ultimate from Jen Burton. Energy barricade to block off behind the Rampart. And the Sheila comes out as well to say, how dare you knock on our front door. It could be Sweet, though. And Baby Nikki and Bad Gal Shay, who decide to try to take the space. But I just don't think they're getting past Mr. Keem and Sheila. But they're trying their best.
Biggest arc star to connect. We get the Maggie, we get the Rampart down, and Mr. Keem from behind the amped cover, wanting to unleash the chaos of Sheila. But I don't believe that anyone will be able to challenge them for the high ground. The circle finally almost closed down to 7 squads in this zone. This is the chaos that Olympus brings.
Mr. Keem must play a lot of Apex too, because there's some fast looting. This is a player who's definitely not at first time jumping on Apex, even though known as an IRL streamer. This is probably there's probably a squad or two down here. And she's just gonna poke with the knuckle cluster, and actually gonna get decent damage. Gonna force one out because they can't take that sustain. And a good bat from Girl, who's got 5. And that's the exact number of squads left in this game.
A little bit of calm before the chaos. Another squad falls. Elsewhere, there's a Mirage with a Kraber in hand, and Noko from the low ground here. Now, this is tough because Girl is able to take an angle and constantly knuckle cluster them. But it makes sense being on low ground. They have the Watson, they've got the pylon up, which can inevitably intercept a lot of those nades, depending on, I'm curious, did they grab the Arc Star perk upgrade for that pylon?
That would be interesting, but the issue is how are they going to get up top? At this point, they have a very difficult rotation away from that zone, even if they can sustain. And you can see it. There's still damage coming up. They have the Maggie. It's solid, but Girl knows how to apply the pressure. And every little kill means 2 kills that someone has to get in order to apply pressure to their lead overall in the game. They do have the mother load as well. Oh, and she turns to the left. I think that was a Mirage, or that no, it wasn't a Mirage. I thought it looked like a player started running up that staircase, but they're hiding right now. Grenades coming in. This could be the end if they can't somehow stave off this pressure, because there's so much damage. But they're still alive.
I don't know how we're alive here. You've got the Maggie riot drill, thermites, and just everything. I'm pretty sure I just saw a Sheila laser looking down them, but that could have been Mr. Keem's there as well. But for Noko, Lulu, and Reek of Awesome, we have somehow made a heroic rotation, and here comes another one.
Noko trying with that Mozambique. It's a tough play, but this Sheila, this is the play. Lulu's just waiting, biding her time with bated breath. Shall you cross the precipice? Will you round the corner? Because what is waiting for you? You know, it's not a good welcome. It is a send back to where you came from. And Lulu knows it. That team may just wait in there. I'm not sure if they have any other route to go, but I think that could just be it. Lulu and them now focusing on in front as the zone is going to pull that way. And Girl still trying to stay alive in the top three. This is certainly a winning performance overall. Will they win this game, though, Tiff, is the question, because they're trying to put a capstone on what has been an incredible Twitch Rivals here. There's one team left separating them from victory, and we'll see if Girl, Jin Burton, and Mr. Keem can pull it off. It's a few bullets, and Girl and the squad will look to take the day, and Twitch Rivals.
Oh my goodness. That was absolutely ridiculous. I am so glad they won. It's always so good to see Girl back in competitive, and I am so happy to see her hard work pay off. We're gonna take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll have the final standings for y'all. And yeah, I'm so excited to see. I think we know who the winners are, but we'll be right back. Welcome back. That was an amazing day full of so many good Apex matches. And my goodness, how do you guys feel about today? Like the energy was just kind of off the charts, right, Rain Day?
You know, every now and then you just get this like crescendo that's perfect. And Twitch Rivals tends to have it with, you know, we talked about the comeback from 37 points down that Imperial Hal and Sweet Dreams did. And now we talk about this momentum with Jin Burton and Mr. Keem and Girl that just felt unstoppable. And it felt like at the end of it all, we were all wanting to see it hit that high note. And it did. It did. So what a day so far.
Yeah, it's so funny because I don't know if we all had different teams that we expected to kind of win the whole thing. And Tiff, I think we're all pleasantly happy that we were wrong.
Oh, I'm all good with being wrong. I threw out my dark horse of Keon in there. We were talking about Sweet Dreams and Imperial Howl, but none of us had talked about Jen Burton squad right off the rip. And Jen Burton, Mr. Keem, and Girl, did they prove us wrong? They were like, no, just hold on. Let me show you what we've got. The fact that they just won 3 maps out of 6 is insane.
Yeah, I am so happy for them. They put in the work and they deserve it. Also, chat, we make tons of memories every year on Twitch Rivals between our streamers, amazing gameplay, and sometimes even us as talent. Now, with the help of Intel, we're going to celebrate the best ones with Intel's core memories. Each show will select the defining moment from the day to be forever immortalized in our core memories yearbook. So, here is today's Intel core memory, and it has our player a prize with a lot of nades.
They shouldn't peek because we have these walls.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, they should.
Just went back. I had 2 frags. Dude, I'm just like sitting my ass here. Yay, camping.
Please
Oh,
leave us
big nade
alone.
here. I'm gonna try again.
I have 1 cell. That's
got
my
more if you want 'em.
last.
Big nade, 300 damage.
Oh,
Give me another one.
nice.
Give me another one. Give me another one.
I got
Give me it.
I got you also.
Oh my god, I just killed all 3. I just killed all 3. No f***ing way. I just got all of them. Holy shit, give me them nades. Yep.
You killed all of them
Yep.
all.
Oh my f***ing god.
Disgusting. Give him all the nades, please. Now, that was your Intel core memory for Nicewig's Apex Legends Trios tourney on Twitch Rivals. We'll reveal the full core memories yearbook later this year, including a bracket-style contest for Intel Core Memory of 2024. Intel's Core 14th Gen processors and Intel Arc graphics allow gamers to stream, create, and compete at the highest levels. Gaming happens with Intel. Okay, I cannot believe we missed all of the sky nades. Those were some of the cleanest sky nades that I have ever seen, Rainday.
That is how a prize clearly got 6 kills in that first game, because that was 3 of them right there with those nades. We were wondering, well, we didn't really see a prize do that much. Well, if you blinked, you missed it, and those were sick.
Okay,
Yeah.
Tiff, how would a nades only battle royale match go? Like everyone could only use nades or fuse.
Look, it would be chaos. It would 100% be chaotic. I told you earlier when we were kind of looking at all the clips from the community that Johnny Price did try to do melee and nades only in ranked. Now, granted, everyone else could use whatever they wanted, but I'm pretty sure he reached diamond alone by that. And to me, that just already says something, and we should totally be doing it.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, let's do like our own, let's pitch our own tournament idea and have it just be nades and only fuse. Or Mad Maggie, actually.
Is this after or before our cooking stream that's going down?
Ooh, you know what? After. So that we're full
After,
and then we can
okay.
think about,
We're
I
full.
have some of my best ideas after, I've been fed, gotta keep the nutritional content up.
I feel that, yeah.
Yeah, oh my goodness. This was such a fun day. Okay, so what if, obviously we're on Twitch Rivals, but I'm really curious. Do you think that they could bring this sort of legend banning or legend specific, like you can only play these characters on these maps? Do you think that could ever come to ALGS? And how would you feel about that, Rainday?
I think anything's possible. We're seeing iterations and changes in the ALGS almost, every few months and every 6 months, probably, biannually. And I think that it's good. It's good for the game to have these changes and these updates. The game itself is updating. I think the esport has to keep pace with that. A ban is a big kind of idea, and it does start to say that the game would probably be very hard to go back to how it felt and would really make the esport distinct from the actual game, which would be ultimately, I think, a choice that the ALGS would have to work pretty hard with Respawn to be in collaboration with. That's my, initial thought. I don't know what you feel about that, but to me, I think it would definitely be a process, but maybe a year and a half down the line, I could see them flirting with it.
I'd be curious. I know there are other titles that do kind of GA certain things in their competitive esports, but it could be fun as a whole. It kind of already feels like we GA some people because we usually only have the select few legends that kind of remain in that meta per se, and most people kind of will stick to that. Occasionally we'll get the one-off niche picks, like Rampart had the niche time at previously. We'd only see like maybe 1 or 2 teams kind of break that out, and famously, Knock, who played in our tournament today, Xset was one of those Rampart people that were just like, I just firmly remember all the amped covers, the 2 mobile Sheilas, and just mowing people down from above. So yeah, I'd be curious to see what that looks like. I'm always open for whatever kind of changes and iterations throughout the years to come, but you know, we'll see it when it happens, right? Ask me then.
Yeah, I mean, it seems fun. I think anything is possible through the realm of Apex because this game has gone through so many changes. But let's go ahead and take a look at who is the champion for today. Let's take a look at the standings. I'm pretty sure we know who it is, but it's Team Jen Burton here with Girl and Mr.
I'm not
Key.
surprised. Are you? What do you mean?
No,
3
I am
wins?
so happy for them.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Girl early on talking about her first Twitch rivals in 2019 and now taking a W here today with 26 points separating first and second place. That's a domination if I've ever seen one.
And you know, we may not be able to kind of have this conversation. Hopefully we get to talk to them in an interview, but we may not be able to say as much about them in that interview because we're just going to be interested in talking to their experience. But you know, these people are incredible at what they do. You talk at Jen Burton and you talk about the leadership and the ability for what Dark Zero have done to compete with TSM, who just win and win and win. Dark Zero said, no, we are sharing this legacy of Apex Esports and have really become the team you think of outside of them to raise trophies. And Girl herself has put in more work than almost anybody in becoming as good as she is. And I don't know how her and Mr. Keem went from the Balloon World Championship and qualifying and playing in that together to the Apex Twitch Rivals showdown with Nicewig. But Mr. Keem also has put in energy here, obviously, from a variety of different skills and talents. So this squad together, 3 incredibly unique and talented individuals that seem to be bigger, you know, better than the sum of their parts.
Yeah, ooh, and we do see that Jen Burton did lead the most eliminations by just 3 points above Sweet Dreams. So it was really close. And you can actually see the points actually are very close behind as well, just going down the line. And we love to see Girl with 14 points tied with the prize at 6th and 7th place. Love to see it.
Yeah. Grabbing that second place, winning that $300. But Jen Burton just adding a little bit more cash to that already big prize that he won.
Yeah, and the great thing about Rivals is you just show up, you know, you do get something for participating.